Elizabeth Warren just crumbled on live TV. John Kennedy asked one simple question, and her shaky response left the audience stunned. What happened next proved Kennedy completely outsmarted her. On a crisp evening in 2025, the stage was set for a high-stakes political showdown on live television. The network studio buzzed with anticipation as cameras trained on two of the Senate's most formidable figures, Elizabeth Warren, the progressive firebrand from Massachusetts, and John Kennedy, the folksy yet razor-sharp senator from Louisiana. The event, billed as a debate on critical policy issues, promised to be a clash of ideologies and intellects. For Warren, a former Harvard law professor known for her meticulous preparation and policy wonkery, it was an opportunity to showcase her legal expertise and cement her reputation as a leading voice in the Democratic Party. For Kennedy, whose Southern charm amassed a knack for cutting through rhetoric with incisive questions, parties to accusations of blackmail and manipulation, these revelations have drawn comparisons to other high-profile scandals, with some likening Diddy to disgraced figures like Jeffrey Epstein and Harvey Weinstein. The involvement of other celebrities, whether as attendees of his parties or as figures named in lawsuits, has fueled rampant speculation and conspiracy theories, with some falsely implicating Beyonce and Jay-Z in the controversy. Beyonce's decision to speak out has also reignited discussions about the music industry's long-overdue reckoning with issues of abuse and accountability. The Pound Me Too movement, which transformed Hollywood and other sectors, largely bypassed the music world, where a pervasive party culture and male-dominated power structures have often shielded influential figures from scrutiny. Activists and survivors see Diddy's case, and now Beyonce's bold intervention, as a potential turning point. Kennedy countered with his characteristic blend of humor and skepticism, questioning the feasibility of her proposals with pointed but genial challenges. The audience, a mix of partisans and undecided voters, listened intently, sensing the tension building. Then came the moment that would define the night. The moderator, a seasoned journalist known for tough questions, turned to Warren with a query about her recent criticism of corporate tax loopholes. It was a topic squarely in her wheelhouse, one she had addressed countless times in Senate hearings and campaign rallies. She launched into her response with confidence, detailing the inequities of the tax code and her plan to close loopholes that favored multinational corporations. Her words were crisp, her tone authoritative, until Kennedy was given the floor to respond. Leaning slightly into his microphone, Kennedy fixed his gaze on Warren and asked a deceptively simple question. Senator Warren, you've talked a lot about fairness tonight. Can you name one specific loophole in the tax code, right now, that you'd close, and explain exactly how it'd work without hurting the small businesses you say you're fighting for? His voice was calm, almost conversational, but the question carried a sting, a direct challenge to move beyond rhetoric and into granular detail. The room fell silent. Warren, accustomed to steering debates with her command of policy, seemed momentarily caught off guard. She began her response, citing the need for comprehensive reform and referencing her broader tax plan, but her words lacked the precision Kennedy's question demanded. Sensing an opening, Kennedy pressed further, his tone still polite but unrelenting. With all due respect, Mom, that's a fine speech, but you didn't answer my question. Which loophole? How's it work? Folks at home want to know. Warren's face tightened, a flicker of frustration crossing her features. She attempted to pivot, accusing Kennedy of siding with corporate interests, but he cut her off with another question, this time about the economic impact of her proposed wealth tax. You've said your tax on billionaires will pay for everything, Kennedy said, his drawl deliberate, but the numbers don't add up when you look at the CBO reports. Can you explain why your plan assumes static behavior from folks who've got the means to move their money overseas? The audience stirred, sensing Warren's discomfort. Her response was uncharacteristically vague, a mix of generalities about economic justice and deflections about Republican obstructionism. Kennedy, unflappable, dismantled her points one by one, citing discrepancies in her plan's revenue projections and questioning its practicality. Each time Warren tried to regain her footing, Kennedy countered with another precise, plainly worded question that exposed gaps in her arguments. His approach was surgical, no raised voice, no grandstanding, just a relentless focus on the details Warren seemed unable to provide in the moment. As the exchange continued, Warren's composure began to fray. Her hands gripped the podium, and her responses grew shorter, tinged with exasperation. The moderators, sensing the shift in momentum, tried to move on to the next topic, but the damage was done. The audience, both in the studio and watching at home, sat in stunned silence, witnessing a rare moment, when one of the Senate's most formidable debaters was outmaneuvered. Kennedy, with his unassuming demeanor, had turned Warren's expertise against her, revealing the limits of her rhetoric under pressure. The clip of the exchange went viral within hours.